As you may know, the company Apple has made its fair share of computer mice, mainly for their Mac computers, but most of the mice are very weird and would be the worst mouse to use in Minecraft, besides the fact that you can jitter click on most of them. So today I will be putting all of these mice on a tier list and talking about what clicking methods you can do with the mice, and the mice's overall features. Anyways, let's go ahead and start. This mouse is the first mouse that was publicly released, originally made for the Macintosh computer, which is the oldest thing I've ever seen, by the way. And the main button is a lot more difficult to press than normal mice today. You need to press down harder on the mouse to actually register a click, which isn't a problem if you're using the mouse for work or games that don't really rely on clicking. But if you're playing Minecraft PvP, then you're probably going to be stuck with normal clicking because I don't see how anyone could jitter click on this. It looks like it can't even double click. There is no sensor and there is a trackball, which makes the aim really stutter. However, this does not affect PvP. Overall, I think the only clicking method possible would be normal clicking, which isn't bad if you can normal click 10 CPS. I think I would put this in the C tier and it's not going in the D tier just because it's such an iconic mouse and I'd actually use this as a joke. Maybe consider liking the video if you want a video on it. Not to mention, it has a pretty good click sound. This was the first mouse that featured the new connection to Apple's new products. Now, I'm not the first one to review how good this mouse is for Minecraft PvP, since Intel already made a video using it in Skywars, but I'll go over it anyways. It sounds like most modern mice when clicked, as you may know from Intel's video. It can jitter click really well, even up to 15 CPS. Butterfly clicking looks practically impossible with this mouse, or it's just really hard, and drag clicking is impossible. Once again, it uses a trackball so the aim will stutter, but it's actually not that bad of a mouse if you're a good jitter clicker. I would put this mouse in the B tier just because of how good it can jitter click, even compared to some modern mice, and it's not that bad of an option if you like mice such as these. And it looks like we have another ADB connected mouse. So this is basically the previous mouse, except it has a different design and shape. Plus the mouse button is wider and not closed in like the last two. Butterfly clicking actually looks slightly possible with this mouse and could potentially get a good amount of CPS. The clicking sound is very weird and is hard to listen to if you press down gently on it, so I wouldn't recommend this for click sounds. Literally the worst click sound of all of these mice. Jitter clicking seems possible with this and might be a bit harder, but I wouldn't know. Moving a mouse makes this weird noise because of the trackball and the stuff inside of the mouse that detects the trackball's movement. But it might just be this person's mouse in specific, as it is very old and dirty. I don't see how anyone could drag click on this mouse, just because of how hard you have to press on it, just like the last ones, and because of the texture of the mouse. But I will say that the rounder shape makes the mouse a lot more comfortable than the previous, so that's an improvement. I would put this mouse in B tier again, because the design is better than the previous mice, and I would actually try to butterfly click on this thing. This is the first Apple mouse to feature USB connection, so you don't need any adapters to use it on a Windows-based machine. Just plug it in and you're good. This mouse is literally a circle now. A circle. I don't even know how to hold this thing. It looks like your hand would cramp up using this mouse after a long time of playing, and your hand would be in eternal pain if you tried to butterfly click on it. Why does this thing even exist? They almost had a good design going with the last mouse, but then they had to ruin it and make a freaking ball for a mouse. I don't know how people could stand using this back then. Jitter clicking looks difficult on the mouse because of the shape and how hard you need to press to actually click, and it looks like normal clicking is the easiest clicking method for this mouse. Drag clicking would be too hard because of the texture, but that doesn't even matter because you have to put so much pressure to actually click on it. The click sound is okay, but you can really tell the button's made of plastic when clicking it. I think I would give this mouse a D because of how bad this mouse turned out. And it's a shame because this was the first mouse to be USB and it's going to be the last one to use a trackball. One look at this thing and you'll be thinking, why did they make a mouse out of glass? What even? This mouse is made out of plastic glass because they want it to look good and fancy, which explains the name Pro mouse, which it really isn't compared to most modern mice, but okay Apple, whatever you say. The button is very wide, so you could jitter click with your entire hand if you wanted, which I have done with the last mouse on this list. Butterfly clicking on this mouse, it looks possible, just a little difficult. I wouldn't really know since I haven't actually used most of these mice. Good luck drag clicking on this thing because like all the other mice, you have to press down pretty hard to click on it. Plus the texture looks like it has no friction at all on it. One really good thing about this mouse is that they started using optical sensors at this time, so it aims a lot more accurately and you won't have any stuttering problems in game while aiming. I also like the click sound, though it isn't the best one out of all these mice. The mouse seems pretty bad, but it would have been a lot worse if they actually did use real glass. I can imagine how many incidents would happen from pressing down on the mouse really hard if they did. I'll give this a B because they did use an optical sensor, which was a good choice for this mouse and really fits the name Pro Mouse. This is the second to last mouse on this list, and it's the first mouse to feature a scroll bar. However, that's kind of the problem with this mouse. The scroll bar is a mushy ball at the top middle of the mouse, and since it's in the middle, it doesn't give that much space to comfortably click. Clicking near the scroll bar gives it a chance of it being accidentally used. So you have to click to the left or to the right of it, which makes it hard to butterfly click on it. Butterfly clicking, from my knowledge, might be possible on this mouse, but it might just be as hard as the previous mice. The clicking sound isn't that bad, but I can't really find a video where I can hear it well without the person talking over it, so my opinion might change if I ever do get this mouse myself. Apparently there are gray side buttons for forwards and backwards on web browsers, which look like indicators for where you should put your fingers at, but this doesn't affect gameplay, or at least for Minecraft. Jitter clicking doesn't look too hard with it, but I haven't actually used the mouse so I wouldn't know. Drag clicking could be possible, but it's unlikely. I think I'll put this in the C tier because of the scroll bar problem, but it's not that bad of a mouse honestly. And people who use the scroll bar and can't hotkey now have an Apple mouse to use. Not to mention, there is a wireless variant that uses Bluetooth connection. This is the last mouse Apple has made for as far as I know, or at least the last one with one button only. This mouse is the most modern one of all the Apple mice and uses Bluetooth for connection. I have actually used this mouse so I can describe this more accurately than the others, so yeah. Drag clicking is practically impossible with the mouse because of how hard you have to press down to actually click, just like all the other mice on this list. Although that doesn't even matter because the mouse has a built-in scroll bar that you use by moving your finger across the button, which is kind of impressive, I will admit. And you would accidentally activate the scroll bar trying to drag click on it. So forget drag clicking on this thing. Jitter clicking has never been easier with this mouse. You can jitter click with your entire hand if you wanted, but I could only jitter 10 CPS with it. Butterfly clicking is impossible for the same reason as the other mice, which is a shame because that means there are most likely only 1 or 2 mice that you can butterfly click on in this list. If you were to use this mouse, you would be stuck normal clicking or jitter clicking for PvP, which is really bad for people who can't jitter click because normal clicking won't give enough CPS for a lot of people. The click sound is kind of weird, but it's not all that bad. This mouse is going in between A and B tier because the Bluetooth connection and optical sensor is definitely a benefit, though being forced to jitter click or normal click is just a letdown for this mouse. That should be all the mice that were publicly released. I'll put the final tier list on the screen right now in case you didn't get all of that, and that should be my final opinion until I actually get all of these mice, if I ever do. Something I really hated is that a lot of these mice can't butterfly click, seemingly, which basically means I can't PvP with these mice since I butterfly click for PvP. I may make an update on this video if I do end up buying these mice and trying them for myself, but that's pretty much going to be the end. I hope you enjoyed this tier list video, and I may do more in the future if you guys like this style of video, so let me know by liking or commenting. And that'll be it. Please check out the videos in the description because they helped a lot with the making of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.